Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here. What I got for you today is a review of the FQ777 951C. Very inexpensive nano quadcopter with camera. But before I go into that, I want to show you something else that I got here that I'm using. This is what you call a power bank. Now, a power bank is usually used to charge cell phones and such using the USB power ports. These things are very inexpensive, but very powerful. This one here I got from Banggood, I believe. I believe Banggood was the source for this one, but it ran about $13. But it had, I believe, 10,000 milliampere hour battery in there for powering things. So this would be a good power source for powering your quadcopters out in the field. This one in particular, I've been juicing up this little quadcopter because it wasn't ready to go this morning. But I'm out here doing reviews, and I wanted to be able to review this by the time I got out in the field. Another thing, this one, a lot of them come with solar panels, and so does this one here for charging when you're out in the field. Actually, it takes a long time to charge this thing up by the solar panels, but for emergency purposes, it does have solar power panels, and also it has a LED light, flashlight, which you activate by a quick press of these two presses of this button on the right. So it's a pretty neat thing. Let's go into the quadcopter right now. Let me turn that off. This should be charged by now. Okay, let's get into the quadcopter itself now. This is the FQ777 951C. Little $22 quadcopter. It only has a 0.3 megapixel camera, and that is good and bad. Good in that little 3.3 megapixel cameras don't really suck up the juice that much, so you should be able to get better flight time than normal with, say, an HD camera. And bad in that it's 0.3 megapixel. It's only 640 by 480 resolution. But that is also usually sometimes good for most purposes. Another thing I want to talk about is it comes with an SD card and an SD card reader, which is great. A lot of quadcopter companies are getting cheap. They're not providing you with the needed SD card and SD card reader to do video with your camera quadcopter. That's just terrible. This one provides it for free. It comes with the package, so you don't have to worry about that. So, okay, let's go for a flight of this thing. This does not have an on-off switch on this little... Oh, wait a minute. I didn't go over the controller. Most important part, because directions on these quadcopters are so terrible, you have to decipher it. Quadcopter 101 will decipher it for you. This upper left button here, quick presses for photo and long presses for video. This upper right button, quick presses for flips, and a long press is for entering headless mode. The trim buttons are actual trim buttons for yaw, and this is for pitch, and this is for roll. If you want to calibrate the gyros, you can on the quadcopter by pulling down and out, and that will calibrate the gyros if it starts to fly screwy. So that's about it. Now the quadcopter does not have an on-off switch. It is powered by plugging in the battery into the back end of the quadcopter, and we now have power. And I am going to turn on the transmitter and bind it. Okay, that binds itself obviously, and right now I am going to activate the video camera. Well, first off, before we do activate the video camera, let's demonstrate flips in headless mode. Okay, we are in headless mode right now. Pushing forward, pulling back, pushing forward, pulling right, pulling left, going upwind. I'm going to come out of headless mode, and that's a flip. Okay, that's enough for flips. Landing it, and now we're going to turn on the video, and let's see if there's any visual indication. No, I don't see any visual indication that we got video on. I don't know if it... And if that's video off, I do not know. I don't see any visual change. So I am going to assume that long beep means the video camera is either activated or deactivated. So pressing again. Okay. And we're going to go up right now. Now I got a breeze picking up, but easily going into that breeze. This is a good flyer, by the way. I want to say that right now. It has very good pitch. And it's fighting that breeze that's picking up. Let's go upwind then. And land it there. Now, turning off that video. And I'm going to go up again just to make sure that the camera was recording. If it wasn't that first time, it will this time. Going back upwind. Oh, that wind is really picking up, folks. But there we go, up, showing you the camera. If it's not on, it's on now. And if it's not on, it's on now. Again, you know, the main selling point of this quadcopter is its camera. And let's bring it back in. It's muddy here. They had just been watering this area. Okay, now let's look at maneuverability, and before I do that, I am going to calibrate the gyros because of that last slash landing. Board, and you hear a beep when it's calibrated. I'm checking these buttons because I do not see a rate button, folks. Unless, no, that's not the rate button. There is no rate button that I can see on this, and I tried pressing the sticks. Okay, well, let's just fly it the way it is. It is somewhat heavy, and because of that, it goes into vortex ring state pretty easily. And again, the wind is picking up here, which is a shame. It's about 3 knot wind. It's not a lot, but it is a wind. You can fight it, but you know, this is primarily for camera. It seems to have quite a bit of power and quite a bit of yaw, actually. But again, that weight, it feels the weight, I can see that. Okay. I'm trying the flips buttons. Again, it's too heavy for flips. Okay, again, one rate. It's a fast rate on this quadcopter. Let me set it up and show you the yaw rate on this with the one rate. Yaw rate's not too extreme, but the pitch is. The pitch is kind of high on this quadcopter. I guess the intent is to try to fight wind like I'm feeling today. And it can cut into that wind. It has a lot of power, but you know, you only apply so much power with those little tiny props before they stall out. And it can stall out quite a bit. Okay, it needs to be calibrated again. Gyros calibration. Hear the beep. And away we go again. Okay, starting to get sluggish a bit. Okay, now it's fine, nice and gentle without that crazy pitch. Going back up again, I'm going to try the camera one more time. Camera recording. That last gyro cal seems to have calmed it down a bit. Probably because it was probably tilted when I did calibrate the gyros. But the pitch has been calmed down a bit. Camera off. So again, you know, this is the E10C. Now I can fly closely and show you it up close. Get a thumbnail. A little more stable right now after that gyro cal. And that's about it. That's its flight time. Yep, and the lights are flashing. And the throttle's still turned on. So that's the FQ777 951C. Runs about $22. Again, it comes with SD card and SD card reader. Hope you enjoyed this flight. It's Quadcopter 101. Get my thumbnail. Signing out.